I want to know what your interest is with leather and footwear manufacturing. Of all the kinds of things you could have done, other kinds of business, you could have been a fashion designer, a hairdresser, or something different. Why did you pick leather and footwear production?
Okay, I chose the business out of interest. I was actually doing bag making in the past. It was doing the buying of the materials. Someone told me that since I can make bags, that I can also go into shoemaking. So I was like, okay, since people use bag, they also make use of shoes. Okay, let me give it a try. So I went for the training and I was stuck on it. So it's something I don't even want to stop. Yes.
Good to know. You talked about training. How was your training? Is it like you had someone who was already into the manufacturing of shoe train you in a shop, or it was a formal training? Let's understand how this thing works.
Okay. My own training actually took place right in the market where I buy materials from, where I buy my bag materials from. And in that market, they also sell shoe materials like your leathers and other accessories for making shoes. So that was where I learned it because there are guys there who are already into shoemaking. So when you go there, all you have to do is pay a certain fee and then you start the training. So it wasn't in the school, it was right in the market.
Olade, got to know you are here with us. As an entrepreneur, I would like you to talk about the level of patronage for locally made footwears and what is so unique about Nigerian leather compared to others that is making it significantly important.
Okay. I can tell you for sure that there is a great request for locally made shoes right now compared to years ago because years back also I wouldn't want to go for locally made shoes because I always believe as in the not even the quality like the end product sometimes doesn't look neat, sometimes it doesn't look perfect to me. But when I started the training, I realized that there are different materials and how you put them together that makes that makes how beautiful the show is going to be and of how much quality it's going to have. So right now, like I'll say since 5 years ago, people have really embraced handmade shows. It's all about how you make it, the quality and the finished product, what it looks like. So I'll actually encourage people who wants to go into shoemaking. Like you have to have a formal education aside going into shoemaking because if you're not creative, also it shows in the work. You have to be creative. You have to have a passion for fashion. It's just like dressmaking. It has shoemaking has details. You have to be detailed. So it's when you're detailed, when you can bring out the beauty of a shoe, that is when you can get good patronage from people. Right now, I have people outside Nigeria who still order for my own products because when you even look at it, until someone tells you, oh, this thing is handmade, before you even know it's handmade or it's actually made in Nigeria. So it all depends on who is making it and how creative you are.
Okay, when you say a leather work, maybe a footwear is handmade, what are you referring to? Is it that there is no kind of equipment used, you don't use certain kinds of technology? Can you explain that to us? In
Okay,
terms
when I
of the
say
quality
handmade, I'm
and the
talking about
durability for
locally made.
handmade leather work?
Yeah, when I say handmade, I'm talking about locally made shoes, whereby you get your materials directly from the market. It's a plain sheet, it's a plain leather. You have to use your own creativity, your own hand to cut out the pattern. before you can even place it on a machine. And there are even some designs that you don't really need to make use of a machine to bring out the style you want. You do it with your hands, like handcrafts. So that is what I mean by handmade. It's basically major part of the production is with the use of your hands, with the use of your own creativity before you can even put it on the machine to bring out the end product.
Does that in any way limit the amount of production that you can do?
Hmm. Um, in some ways, because most of these machines, they are electrical, they make use of electricity. So if I cut out a pattern and I need to make use of my machine and there's no light, then it's going to slow down the production. But I think it's all about time frame, like what you can produce within a short period of time, or how much you want to produce. It takes a lot. It takes a lot. It's not something you have to rush. It takes time. So if you're gonna use your hand, or of course it's gonna limit the amount of time you're going to use, or like when you use even when you're using a machine, everything, you don't use your machine for the production 100%. You still have to make use of your hand. So yeah, it's kind of, there's going to be a little limitation without machine and electricity.
Okay, Tiwa, let's talk about the issue of financing. I would like you to briefly tell us your story. How did you overcome the challenge of sourcing for the right capital to start this business? And then how have you been financing this project as for people, reference for people who wants to go into the business to learn some lessons? Did you have access to loans or grants, or how were you able to overcome this challenge on financing when you started your business?
I still have that challenge because this business, it's capital intensive. So when you don't have much capital, you're limited on how much you can produce and how much you can make. When I started from school when I was in the university, because where I get my materials from is close to my school. So because I was a student, the person that taught me was kind of considerate on the excuse me, on the amount to take from me. Then while doing the practical, because it's practical work, you don't just go there and look. It's practical. Everything you're going to be doing, it's practical. You have to buy materials, you have to buy your tools and all that. I had some challenges with that because I didn't even tell my parent I was doing it. I didn't tell them. I just, when I'm free, when my lecture free days, that is when I go to the market to learn. Like I said, it was closer to my school, so I think that was still what helped me. But when it comes to getting my materials, I had some challenges because I had to use my own pocket money to get some of the materials. There are some I don't even pay for immediately. So that was how I was able to do that. But when it comes to other people who don't have access to this market and they have to learn from other people, like if I have to train someone, I collect an amount, and some of them, sometimes they come back, some they don't have this money to do the training, and you wouldn't see them again. Then, well, excuse me, during my NYSC days too, there were people who were interested in this craft, making of shoes, but the government is bringing people to teach this corpus, but I can tell you for sure, most times they don't really learn much because they don't have the materials. So you just have to stand and be watching the person teaching you, and you can't learn it like that. You have to have the money has to be there for you to get your materials. So right now, since I now know it and I'm into the business, I actually want to grow my business, but it's capital intensive. Like I said before, it's a lot of money. You have to buy your machines, buy your stamping machine. It takes a lot. So right now, I'm just making do with what I have to push the business because it's what I love doing. So I'm not even discouraged with that because I know with time that will be solved. But it's not everybody that has that patience. Like people want to do something today and make the money immediately, but you just have to have patience. You have to be patient. If you don't have the money, the ready-made money to push to boost the business, you have to be very patient with it and be very creative with how
Let's
you
talk
make
about
you
pushing
start
the
making
business. You
money.
made mention earlier of people requesting for some of your products from outside of Nigeria. How did they get to see your works? And how are you pushing the market? What do you think can be done to create a wider market for those like you who are into manufacturing of leather footwears?
Okay, like I said, I have customers outside the country. Most of these people are people that were in Nigeria before. Some of them, when they traveled, they still patronize me. While some, it's why some of them just make referral, like so you're putting on the shoe and someone says, "Oh, we made it for you," and you tell them, "Oh, it was made in Nigeria." So I get referrals too, and I'm actually able to achieve more of that with the use of social media. Yes, I make use of Instagram and other social platforms where I post my products regularly so people can view them and we have a discussion on what they want. They can send in their designs, or sometimes I create my own designs for them.